Neither of these players are like blockbuster huge, but they're also not bad. They're really good players. So, I'll be curious to see how these fresh starts work for both Zach Whitecloud and Rasmus Anderson. But yeah, I do think we're going to see a couple more trades um, coming in the next few weeks.
All right, welcome back to the Peanut Gallery podcast. We've got a packed show today. The Columbus Blue Jackets shake things up with a coaching change. The NFL coaching carousel is officially spinning. The Olympic curse is back and claiming more hockey players. Bo Nix, not a hockey player, but he goes down yesterday. And we've got a college football championship matchup with Miami and Indiana that feels way more interesting than anybody expected. So let's not waste time. Let's get to it. Episode 16 is now. Mackenzie, how you doing?
I'm chilling.
Excellent. You having a good long weekend?
Yeah, not much
Cool.
going on.
How much going on? Hey, I heard it snowed over there.
It did not.
Oh, it did not snow over there.
No,
But
we
it
did not
snowed
get
it
any
it
snow.
snowed in the middle of Georgia, buddy.
It
We
did.
we up here in North Georgia did get in snow in the middle of Georgia, which is historically warm. Now it got snow this weekend.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that storm moves up here though, because I'd rather it snow tomorrow or Tuesday than today. So
And guess what? Destin, Florida, the beach town, got snow.
good
That's
for them.
nuts. That is
Global warming.
crazy. Global warming. That's right. So, Kenzie, let's start with the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets made a coaching change.
They did.
What does this actually say about what the franchise is right now, where they are right now? And is this short-term move or a long-term reset?
I honestly, it took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it.
Guess what? Neither was the Columbus Blue Jackets ex-coach. He got
Yeah,
taken
right.
by surprise too.
It took Elliot Freeman by surprise. It took a
Yeah.
lot of us by surprise. I suppose I can understand why they did it. They're looking for a change. They're a good team, but they really just haven't been good enough to be considered a playoff team. They were really, really close last year. But so I understand like in hindsight why they've done it, but I don't personally think that's the decision I would have made. They hired in replacement Rick Bowness.
Uh,
I am not his biggest fan. I don't
he was with the Calgary Flames, not Calgary Flames. I'm sorry, Winnipeg Jets, wasn't he?
Winnipeg Jets, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he supposedly retired, which was huge for Winnipeg, just because like the next year they ended up becoming obviously number one team in the league. Um, but Rick Bowness is notorious for not appreciating, I'll say, all of his players. There have been a couple of players that have been, we'll call them not like that's actually, I won't use that word. Just like targets of his. And
Uh-huh.
they're just not treated very well, and they're not given the playing time they deserve, and they're not like given the respect that they deserve as players. And so I don't like him as a coach. I think that as a coach, you need to be able to coach everybody, not just pick and choose who is coachable
True.
and who's not. Um, so I'm not a huge fan of this coaching change in Columbus, just because there are a lot of players there who are like I can't sit here and say that they have stars. I mean, Zach Werenski, that's a star. Like, but as far as everybody else goes, it's a fairly young team, sort of. Like, I don't think Rick Bowness, just based off of like previous statistics with him and his players, I don't think that was a fantastic team to put him with. Um, Hopefully he's changed in his year and a half of retirement. Again, I can only speak from how I watched him in Winnipeg with specifically players like Cole Perfetti. I'm hoping that certain players on Columbus, not that I'll name any names, that they're not targeted the next target of Rick Bowness in his path to make Columbus a playoff team like they want. Because the
Uh-huh.
players that I'm afraid he's going to target are actual resources. They just need a little bit more TLC than others, which is okay. So,
Okay, well, listen, Blue Jackets have gone 3-0 since Rick Bowness took the helm as a coach.
And you know
And
what?
just won a thriller against the Penguins
Yeah, yesterday,
yesterday,
a
I think.
shootout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shootout, yeah.
And I mean, I can't sit here and say that that's a definite change yet because everybody has those streaks after a big change. Obviously, Vancouver went like 4-0 in their next four games after Quinn Hughes got traded, and then they haven't won a game since. So, like, we'll see what happens after this little stint is up. I don't know. I mean, Rick Bowness is not a bad coach by any means. Winnipeg was decently good under him. It worries me because I feel like every player deserves the opportunity that they earn. Whereas in past, I'm really only thinking of like certain players in Winnipeg. It just hasn't been that way. And then as soon as Rick Bowness left, those players broke out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like all of this is coming from like a complete bias from when I watched him with Winnipeg. I'm just like, I'm not his biggest fan. He's gonna have to work hard to like earn my respect. Not that my respect matters to anyone, but
Of course it does. Well, let's see how he does. As I said, he's they're 3-0 now with him back in or on in the helm. So let's see how CBJ does from now on. And if they're the good thing is that, or something that's happened recently is that they've been bumped up in the rankings, right? For with winning four games in a row now. So um,
yeah, they're they're number 23,
yeah,
number 6
20.
in the Metro. It's not like, they're not sitting in a great position right now. So, and it could have something to do with their winning, but it also could be have something to do with the fact that New Jersey and New York suck. So like, it's a two-way street. It doesn't necessarily all have to do with the fact that they won four games. I mean, that certainly helps they're getting the points that they need, but it also helps that their contenders aren't. So, or competitors, not contenders.
Yep.
So that was shade at New Jersey. I hope they listen to that
Well, I
and
know.
take it to heart.
I got that.
But did they?
I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. Hey, so let's move on and talk about the NHL trade rumors and moves segment. Um, so this time we actually got a real one, a real move, a
Yeah.
trade. The Calgary Flames moved Rasmus Anderson to the Vegas Golden Knights. Kenzie, with this move on the board, do you think this opens up the floodgates, or is Vegas just being Vegas again?
I think that this is the start of the trade deadline situation. It always at the end of January is when it starts, and then obviously it ends at the beginning of March. A lot of big trades happen in the last 2 weeks of January, and then there's a little break due to like Four Nations, All Stars, Olympics, whatever, and then it's huge at the end of February, beginning of March, obviously because the trade deadline. This Rasmus Anderson trade, it did not surprise anybody. They had been talking about this for a while. It made me really sad because yesterday Rasmus Anderson he gave high fives to all of his teammates, stayed on the ice for a little bit longer because he knew it was going to be his last game in Calgary. It was really sad. I mean, it's just business. It happens, but I mean, the buildup has got to be hard, but arguably a surprise is harder. So I mean, it's not easy being traded no matter what unless you ask
Right.
for it. And even that, it's hard because you've been teammates with these guys for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Like it's got to be hard. This trade is not blockbuster by any means. Both players, I mean, Zach Whitecloud was the return along with some other things for Calgary. Neither of these players are like blockbuster huge, but they're also not bad. They're really good players. So I'll be curious to see how these fresh starts work for both Zach Whitecloud and Rasmus Anderson. But yeah, I do think we're going to see a couple more trades um, coming in the next few weeks.
What's your prediction?
I don't know. Vancouver is being Vancouver. They're wanting a full-blown trade deadline. I know we talked about last week. Kiefer Sherwood, his name is still on the chopping block. I wouldn't be surprised if he were moved by the deadline, which listen, that I understand that Vancouver wants a full um reset and that Kiefer Sherwood, his trade value is high right now because he's doing really well. And he's asking a lot of money for Vancouver from Vancouver. And so I understand that they might not want to re-sign him. But I don't know. Like they would have to get someone pretty decent in return to like fill his spot. And they're also Connor Garland's name is floating around, which is insane to me, because they got him when he was at his worst and turned him into his best. And again, I understand that the Quinn Hughes trade, it affected a lot for some of those players, Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson, Connor Garland, like those were his really good friends, Thatcher Demko. So, I mean, they might not want to stay in Vancouver anymore either now that Quinn's gone. But I can't see Vancouver's plan right now. Like I hear all these rumors, I hear all these names being thrown around, but I can't envision Vancouver's plan. So that's their prerogative. That's their pitfall. If they want to do that, they can go ahead. I just hope that Kiefer Sherwood and Connor Garland, wherever they end up going, if they end up going somewhere, are treated really well and have a really good time because they deserve it. They're really good players. Um, Obviously, we have New York, the New York Rangers, who put out a statement the other day saying we're basically flushing out our entire team. We suck. I'm so sorry. Like, say goodbye to everybody, including veteran players are gone. Artemi Panarin, who is easily one of their stars, was informed that he was not going to get re-signed next season, and then proceeded to put up 2 goals in yesterday's game. Um, so I'm curious to see what they do. I'm a little nervous to see what they do because those are some big name players that they're considering moving around. Adam Fox, Artemi Panarin, possibly Alexis Lafreniere. Like those are big names. Um, I personally am scared of my own personal team, New Jersey and Tom Fitzgerald. I don't want anyone going to the Rangers. I don't want any of those three players. I think they're really good players, but I'm not willing to sacrifice. I mean, there are a couple players that I'd sacrifice, but they're not high enough caliber to get either of those three players. So that makes me a little nervous. But I'm curious to see what the New York Rangers have in store for the next couple of weeks. We have Mason Lowry. Those rumors came up yesterday. Boston Bruins. People said he was going to get traded to Calgary yesterday in exchange for Rasmus Anderson. That obviously didn't happen. But yesterday was his birthday, and it would have sucked for him to get traded on his birthday. Then he put up 2 goals in last night's game. So everybody who is on the trading block is currently like playing really well. Um, I hope they know that that's only going to make their trade value go higher. But um, let's see. Ryan O'Reilly's name has been thrown around. Nashville Predators. They say Colorado wants him. I personally think New Jersey should go after him. Um, he's a really, really good player. Put up a hat trick last night, or not last night, maybe 2 nights ago against Colorado Avalanche. Yeah, 2 nights ago. Um, I can't. I don't know. There are a lot of players right now whose names are on the block. Um, it's that time of year, and there are a lot of teams looking to rebuild right now, and so they're willing to give up their really good players for other really good players who are looking for a fresh start. Jason Robertson, huge name on the trading block, would be a huge mistake, especially because Dallas is not in need of a rebuild right now. Losing him would be pretty detrimental. I don't know who they'd ask for in return, that would live up to Jason Robertson and his legacy with the Dallas Stars. So if anything, I mean, I could think of 4 players that New Jersey could trade in exchange for him. So bring Jason Robertson to New Jersey, please. We could use that goal scoring depth. So yeah, off the top of my head, those are the players that I've heard circulate. I'm curious to see what happens. There are some players that are probably going to take us by surprise as well. Um, so we'll see.
Well, we know the Capitals, my Washington Capitals, are looking to strengthen their wings because let's see, Alexei Protas is injured; he's out, and Jacob Chicherin,
Jacob
Chicherin,
Chikrin?
Chicherin is
Chikrin.
Chicherin
Chikrin.
is also not feeling well, is out. But after the
Um,
loss to the North Carolina Hurricanes, I think the Caps are like, hey, we need to bolster our wings because obviously they're not producing. So hopefully they'll find somebody good to take over.
Jacob Chikrin. Jacob. He was just fine a couple days ago.
He missed a couple of games recently. Um, because of illness, they said, but I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
well, the flu is going around. That
Yeah,
he's fine. He just played the other day and scored multiple goals. Yesterday, I think it was. Say the 18th. Yeah, yesterday he scored 2 goals. He was doing hot. So, he's fine. But yeah, no, Washington, I mean, I could see them looking for people. I know that they were discussing trades with other people, but they refused to move Ryan Leonard. So Ryan Leonard at least knows he's safe. He knows he's safe because they refused to move him, which I don't blame them. That's a great rookie to keep on. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, Kenzie, let's jump to the NFL coaching jobs. Um, there were 9 teams who were looking for new coaches. Now we're down to 7 because the Giants and the Falcons have hired their new coaches. Giants, I really agree with. Jim Harbaugh is a great, great coach. He
mhm.
had a lot of success with Baltimore Ravens, and I think the Ravens, frankly, are going to miss him. But the Giants, I think, grabbed a really, really good coach, a player-friendly coach that's going to be able to elevate them to the next level. The Falcons, on the other hand, I know what they're doing, but they just hired Kevin Snapsky from Cleveland Browns. I
Which is
mean,
crazy.
that's really crazy.
Hired the Cleveland Browns coach, the punting team of all punting teams, Cleveland
Exactly.
Browns.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I hate this move. It feels like the safest and most uninspiring hire they could have made. Um, it's not bold. It's not creative. It doesn't scream, "We're open to turn a corner." I know that before he hired a coach, Arthur Blank was saying, "Oh, we're going to turn a leaf. We're going to go after someone who's going to take us to the next level." And then they go and hire Kevin Stefanowski. I mean, the guy was with the Browns for 6 seasons. He has a 45-56 record. Yeah, he was the AP Coach of the Year twice, but he also has 2 consecutive losing seasons, and
Yeah.
which eventually led him to his ouster. You know, this is not a championship team move. It's more of a mediocre team move, and it's like they're saying, "Hey, we're just going to move on and do what we can to fill this spot."
Which is
But
dumb. There
let's
were
hope I'm
tons of
let's
other
hope I'm
options.
wrong. Yeah,
Well, I mean, a fresh start is sometimes good for people, but at the same time, Cleveland is the last place that I take a coach from because at least with the
exactly.
Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel, he has a resume, like a decent like spread over the last 2 years, but like and he's a coachable guy. I don't know anything about the Cleveland Browns head coach other than the statistics of the Cleveland Browns this season. They were bad. Like it's like they're a whole meme on TikTok right now because of how bad they were. Like
Yeah,
I the last place that I would ever take a coach from was a team that has done bad that bad this year, but not done well in the last 3 years, you know? So I think that there were a ton of other options and that the Falcons jumped the gun a little too fast,
I think they did
especially with
too.
the Steelers head coach now available. And
That would have been a perfect hire.
yeah,
Okay, Mike Tomlin would have been a perfect hire for the Falcons.
yeah,
His daughter goes to Georgia, um, does
interesting.
gymnastics for Georgia, huh?
Interesting. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
his daughter has to do is a gym dog for Georgia, um, and he is a very, very, very astute coach. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe Mike said I don't want to do. I don't want to coach for Falcons. I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him.
Uh, but so I mean, he just came from a team that has only had 4 head coaches in the past 30 years, 40
And the
years.
Ravens didn't do respectively bad this year. Like they were riddled with injuries and like there were definitely not great moments, but at the end of the day, better than the Cleveland Browns.
Oh
So
heck yeah, for sure. So well,
not the
here's the
Ravens,
thing:
the Steelers.
the
The
Steelers.
Steelers
Yeah,
did really
here's the
they made
thing:
it. They just can't win a playoff game.
Atlanta has a dark cloud over it when it comes to sports. I think the only successful Atlanta sports team has been the Falcons. I'm sorry, the Falcons, the Braves. So
Which is it's been
not
a while since we've seen success out of them. So
not too many people want to come and get involved with the sports teams here, especially when it comes to coaching. I mean,
I don't blame them.
Atlanta's changed coaches like I could come up with a derogatory example, but it just they've gone through so many coaches in the past 5 years. It's amazing. So, and somebody's not going to want to come here, especially a big name like Mike Tomlin or Jim Harbaugh, and say, "Well, what the hell, man? If you can't give me the roster, then I'm going to not win, and then I'm going to be losing my job in a couple of years." So, I totally
What the
understand.
Falcons? What?
I totally understand it. You know, maybe Harbaugh and Tomlin didn't have any interest in it. But yeah, so we'll see how Stefanowski does.
I mean, a better decision. I mean, like you said, we'll see how he does. But a better decision, honestly, would have been to hire a new guy, somebody who hasn't had a chance to prove himself yet,
Right.
work with this brand new team, like figure it out for himself, build the team for himself, and then in maybe two or 3 years, we'd start to see a difference. But
Yeah.
that's how all good coaches get. I mean, all good coaches have to have a start, and maybe they could start with us. I don't know.
Look at Seattle Seahawks. They basically took a no name coach, and he turned a bad team into the number one team
Yeah, they
in the
killed the
NFL.
49ers yesterday.
Exactly. Um, so you know,
Yeah,
look at the New England Patriots. Same thing. Yes. So you pick someone who you see potential in, um, and give him the ammunition he needs, and let him go,
yeah. I
and
mean,
not go back to the same well and get a mediocre coach and expect him to become great.
well, the issue with like sports these days is nobody is learning from their mistakes. I see it
Right.
across all the leagues. You just keep making the same mistakes over and over and hope that something sticks. Whereas the teams that I see being successful are the ones listening and learning and fixing their problems. I'm really happy for the New York Giants. I think that John Harbaugh is going to be great for them, especially with Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo specifically. I think he's going to work really well with those two as young as they are and help them circulate with the rest of the team as they were doing before Cam got injured. But I don't know, like the Falcons, it's gonna continue being a losing battle for them until they learn from their mistakes. And I mean, that's on them, you know, like these teams that sucked last year and are now thriving in the playoffs, like they realized their mistakes and they fixed it. They looked for players to help fill the gaps. They took chances on people who haven't had a chance taken on them, and so they're trying to prove themselves, and so they're doing better. If you take these players that are washed up and but they have a good resume behind them, like they're not necessarily going to perform super well for you or the coaches, for example. Like until you learn how to not make those mistakes, then you're going to continue sitting in a bad spot, and that's what's going to happen with Falcons. Again, we don't know what this coach is going to do. He could have a great start here, but if he doesn't, like I'm not going to sit here and act surprised. I mean, we'll have to see what the Falcons do with their draft picks and all that kind of stuff. They need a quarterback. They need like they they need a lot, and I don't see them, all of a sudden
No.
thriving. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm just glad they didn't
Right.
take Kirby Smart. There were so many rumors that Kirby Smart was leaving.
No.
I was
No.
like,
There's
hello, first of all, that would be dumb. Second of
there's
all,
no way.
dumb.
Um,
Third of all,
Her,
dumb. But
Herbie's
so many
got
people were reporting on it. I'm like, you guys took one
yeah.
piece of news and ran with it.
No, Kirby's got a great thing going on now.
Right.
He's at the top of the NCAA football, college football. He's very respected. He doesn't want to go uh, coach bunch of prima donnas, you know, and it's no, Kirby's good. All right, well let's see what happens. But I'm happy for the Giants. I think the Giants are going to be.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do great next year, especially with the dynamic duo um,
Yeah.
of
I'm excited to see them back.
Dart, and Skibadoo, Skidaboo.
Hopefully Cam takes a chill pill and
Yeah,
I mean not I mean he doesn't need to take a huge chill pill, just like
no.
slightly chiller.
I say let Cam be Cam because
Yeah,
uh,
but he needs to protect his ankles and his knees
yeah,
and
for
his
sure.
elbows and his
Yeah,
head and his face and everything else.
and I'm sure
Give him some
John.
elbow pads and some knee pads
Yeah, exactly.
and some shin pads, like some ankle pads.
I'm really excited to become a quasi Giants fan next season.
Right.
It's good. It hurts me. It hurts me to say that, but you know
It's
what?
okay.
When you have an exciting team, you have an exciting team. All right, Kenzie, the Olympic curse is back and it's
Yeah.
taking names,
Yeah.
unfortunately. More injuries popping up. At what point do teams and players start asking if this is really worth it?
Um,
I know the
well, okay.
Olympics. I know the Olympics have been, the NHL's been, or hockey's been back in the Olympics for the first time in a long time. But
Yeah. No, if this were four nations, I'd say cancel. We're done. But it's the Olympics. I completely understand why they want it as bad as they do. Now, granted, no, it's the Olympics. I get it. But it gets to a point where like these teams are losing their star players. It's bad. When I tell you like last week I can only think of a couple names, I can think of multiple now. The hits that players took this week since the last time we spoke, crazy. It's insane. Are you ready for these lists?
Yes, let's do it.
Team Sweden is now missing Leo Carlsson, who has one of the most insane injuries ever. Like I don't remember like I don't think I've ever heard of this. He has a lobular lesion in his thigh, which is incredibly rare. It's an issue in the tissue. Haha, that rhymed. So he had surgery. He had surgery on it a couple of days ago, and now he's out 3 to 5 weeks at least. Which that is such a rare injury. I'm very curious to see how it happened or hear how it happened if they release that. Joel Eriksson Ek is out for the Minnesota Wild. Gabriel Landeskog, obviously, he was the original one where I was like, oh my gosh, hey, this might be an issue. And the Colorado Avalanche are struggling without him. His presence is clearly huge there, which we know. We watched their team without him for 3 years. William Nylander, he's out. Philip Broberg, Jonas Brodin, Victor Hedman, Eric Carlson. Those are all key players that Team Sweden is missing. And half of those players went out just this last week. The United States aren't missing nearly as many people, but they're missing obviously Matthew Tkachuk, who's been out all season. He should, I think, be ready before the Olympics. So Matt Boldy, I don't know what happened to him. I was watching the game the other day, and then all of a sudden the next day he was fine. All of a sudden the next day they're like, "Oh yeah, he's on IR." I'm like, "Okay, what happened to him?" Seth Jones, he got hurt. He was one of the players I mentioned last week. So yeah, that's who Team USA is missing. And then Team Canada, they're missing Braden Point, which is huge for them. He got injured last week. Brad Marchand, have no idea what happened to him. He's out currently. Tom Wilson, he's out. Bo Horvat has been struggling with injury for the last month. He's out. All these big name players for Canada. So that's quite a list right there. And I only named players off of three of the Olympic teams. Um, and half those players went out just in the last week. So, and all of them went out besides Matthew Tkachuk since the Olympic rosters got released on New Year's Eve. So it's crazy.
So, with the Olympics being 2.5 weeks away, what do you think? You think they're going to be able to come back?
I don't know. Some of them I think are going to be rested for longer than I think their projected time is going to be longer than it needs to be just so they're ready to go for the Olympics. Like players such as Matt Boldy, who we don't know what happened to him. They might keep him out just so he's ready for the Olympics. I'm not sure. Um, but there are a couple of them that it makes me nervous. I don't know if they're going to be back. Leo Carlson, he's out 3 to 5 weeks. I don't know. He's a game time decision for the Swedish team right now. Um, I don't know about the statuses of other players, just because they're not releasing a bunch of information right now. But we'll like genuinely we're gonna have to see. And the injured list, like the people who are ready to be called up, they have good backups. Connor Bedard for Team Canada, Wyatt Johnston for Team Canada, Jason Robertson obviously for Team USA. A lot of good backups, but like I hate that these players are having to miss their opportunities. And on the other hand, now you're sacrificing more of your good players on the ready injured list to go take their places. I don't know. It's just it gets to a point. I understand. Like, I mean, obviously it's the Olympics, so they're not gonna like, and they couldn't do anything about it anyway. It's just a coincidence that all this is happening right now. But it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. I mean,
Yeah,
like you said, the injury started as soon as the roster came out
yeah,
in December. So, well, we'll wish him best. See how it
yeah.
goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Yep. Anything else to add about hockey?
Um, you know, no, hold on.
I can't wait for the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics are my favorite Olympics, and I'm so excited to see to watch skiing and hockey and snowboarding. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be 2 weeks of fun TV watching.
Yeah, but no NHL, which boring, but whatever, it's fine. No, I don't have anything else about hockey.
All right, kids, let's move on to the NFL. And there were a couple of exciting games, playoff games last night or yesterday. Um, and the first one yesterday was the Denver Broncos versus um, Who did Denver Broncos
The
play
Buffalo
against?
Bills.
Buffalo Bills. That was it came out to the wire. It was really exciting, but he also had a casualty, unfortunately. Um, Bo Nix goes down, and that obnoxious changes things fast. Let's try again. Bo Nix goes down and obviously changes things fast. He and I didn't know about this until you texted me
Hmm.
that because everything seemed fine. The game was
No, he
over.
was.
He was walking around. He was doing fine, and
Mhm.
then we get a report that he what happened? He broke
Well,
his ankle.
to the point where he needed surgery.
That's crazy. He's
Yeah.
having surgery on Tuesday. That's
Yeah.
just crazy. I mean, he's a tough boy. If he
Yeah.
kept playing, I mean, he only played one more down, but
Yeah. But
playing
he
on
walked
on that,
around, like all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Watching the video back though, you can see he's in significant pain. He's
Oh, for
just
sure.
like there
Yeah.
are tears in that poor boy's eyes, and
Yep.
he chatted with the trainer, all that kind of stuff. So I really feel bad for him, but I I don't know. That my phone dropped. That game, first of all, I'd like to make it clear that was not an interception in overtime by any means. I don't that guy the Broncos player snatched it out of the Bills player's hand. Therefore, this is going to sound terrible,
It's a
but
fumble.
no, he
What?
snatched it out of that player's hands. Like, and also I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure the Bills player his knees were on the ground. I don't know. I don't remember. But moral of the story, it was not an interception. Like the Bills, it should have been like I don't know. I don't know what it should have been
Well,
because I wasn't watching the
I think
game.
the Bills got the shaft anyway towards the end of the game because the uh, per, what's it called? The personal foul. What the first one, not the one to do, at the end of the game. That was totally not pass interference. The PI was not PI. Um, so that was the start of the whole
But
snowball
but here's
of
my
the
thing. The interception call happened in overtime. It changed the trajectory of the game. It gave the Broncos the ball. It didn't even like I I don't know. I personally like I feel so terrible for Josh Allen because the Bills played a fantastic
yeah
game yesterday
they
against
did
one of arguably the best team in the NFL right now, like outside of the New England Patriots and maybe the Seattle Seahawks. But like I feel awful for Josh Allen because that like they played a great game and to be robbed like that, not once but twice towards the end of the game and in overtime, only to see Bo Nix go down. Like I'm not saying the Broncos' chances at winning are over because the defense is really good, but shoot, they're going up against the Patriots on whatever day that game is, Saturday. I don't know, but without Bo Nix to
oh I
have that
know
fourth
yeah
quarter comeback that the Broncos are so known for having this season, I honestly think that it's unfair that Josh Allen and the Bills didn't win that game yesterday because first of all they were snubbed, but second of all they would have. Now, we don't know because we haven't seen the backup quarterback play in a while, but like I think they would have had a better chance against the Patriots than um the current Broncos are. And like I get all's fair in love and football, but like that's not like poor Josh Allen. Watching his interviews yesterday genuinely broke my heart. I didn't have a dog in that fight. I like Bo Nix. I like Josh Allen. Like my team got eliminated in round one. The Chargers are out. Like I don't care at this point who wins. I would rather the Seahawks not win and the Texans are out. So that basically leaves them out. But I didn't have a dog in the fight yesterday, but I wish that it had been the Bills who had won if Bo Nix was going to go out like that because first of all, Josh Allen, like they were robbed. That was not an interception. It changed the entire trajectory of the game. And second of all, I think they have a better chance against the New England Patriots than this Broncos team does. Not underestimating the Broncos though, their defense is fantastic. But come on, like it's Drake May. They I don't know. So I what I'm trying to say without saying it is like I don't the Bills. I feel really bad for them. They played a great game
they
yesterday,
did
and they were robbed. And anybody will tell you that. Even Broncos fans will tell you that that last call was abysmal.
yeah
So, and the fact that it happened in overtime too, like what are you gonna do? That changed the game was over after that. So, and now you don't have the Broncos don't have Bo Nix, so now you have two teams. that could have done well. One that didn't make it because of a bad call, the other that may or may not make it because their star quarterback is out. So it took a turn for the worse for sure. And I feel really, really bad for Josh Allen because that's not cool. Like, and he continuously, and he's getting blamed for it. Everybody's like, Josh Allen always chokes in playoffs, always chokes. He played such a good game yesterday.
He played a great game
Like,
for
how could
sure.
he have known that the rest were going to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not his fault. Like his interviews yesterday broke my heart. And I honestly think like it should be the Bills. Not because the Broncos didn't play a good game, not because the Broncos don't deserve it, but Bo Nix is out, you know?
Well,
Like it
I,
is what it is.
absolutely. And I bet the Fox is it on Fox? Uh, where the Super Bowl is it on Fox or is it on CBS? Anyway, the network definitely now they wish that the Bills
Yeah, I
would have
mean,
won because I think that game against Patriots of the AFC Championship is going to be a lopsided game now with Bo Nix
it
being
just
out.
depends on how ready that backup is. I
Yeah,
Jarrett Stidham, I hope that he's prepared and that the Broncos defense are prepared to do the heavy lifting. Um, we'll
yeah.
see. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't have a dog in this fight. I like Drake May. I like Bo Nix, but Bo Nix isn't playing. So honestly, like, go Pats. I don't know. Like, if the Patriots were to win it all this year, I wouldn't be mad.
Well, speaking of Patriots, they just bulldozed over the Texans this afternoon in the first
Eh.
game of the. But what? I mean, everybody thought that the Texans were going to win, but
Why?
uh,
Against Drake May, he's proved time and time again that he deserves the hype that he gets. And the Patriots team does as well.
you think?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. Like, they're a strong team, and they're not as consistent as say like, well, no, that I can't really think of a consistent team in the league this year.
Well, the Seahawks have been pretty consistent.
Yeah, I don't acknowledge them as a team. I don't like them.
Well, I think I'm going to give you a prediction. I think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl.
See, but they can't. They can't do that because it's not the script. That's not what the script says.
They're
The
they're
script
a
says
very
Broncos are
strong team.
winning.
The way they bulldozed the 49ers last night, it was amazing to watch. The defense was unstoppable. And the
Yeah,
offense did pretty good too. So I think that's what's going to happen. But
I
anyway,
think
both championship team games are next Sunday, January 25th.
yeah, but think about it. Like right now, the Rams and the Bears are tied 10-10 in the third quarter. If the Bears win, the Bears are a hard team to get rid of. Like they're like cockroaches this season. They always come back. So the NFC Championship, that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. Um, I personally would love to see the Bears win.
But the reason that Bears have been so unbeatable this season or during the playoffs is because they're playing Chicago, and the teams that they met in Chicago can't handle the cold. So I think the weather definitely played a part in their wins.
Okay,
Um, if the Bears win this, oh, I just lost my light. If the Bears win against
Rams.
the Rams and go to Seattle, I don't think the Bears are going to have a chance against Seattle. I don't
Yeah,
think
you
so.
underestimate
I'm telling you.
the underdogs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But they're going to be in a hostile territory. They're going to be in
Right, those fans are hostile.
milder weather, and they're going to be. And Seattle has done an amazing job at home this season. So,
We'll see. If anybody could do it, it's the Bears.
yeah,
But even so, if it's a Seahawks Patriots situation in the Super Bowl, it's going to be a tight game.
it is for sure,
It's
for
going to come
sure.
down to whose defense shows up
Yep,
better.
for sure. Um, let's see what we got going on now. So let's go ahead and talk about the championship game. It's championship time. Miami
Yes.
versus Indiana. Two totally different paths here. What's the matchup you're watching, and who do you think this game favors?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say, based off of simply facts, Miami is the favored team here. They got home city
Yeah,
advantage.
that's true.
They got cockiness on their side. They have the fans on their side. I mean, I don't. I'm not going to be surprised if Indiana fans show up because this is a huge deal for them. But they're literally in Miami. Fans are not having to travel across the world or across the country to get to this game. I think it's going to be a hostile environment for Indiana to be walking into. But one thing that Indiana has on their side is a good attitude. They got a great attitude, whereas
They do.
Miami's got that cocky attitude.
They got
So
the Midwest attitude for sure.
I do think that Miami is favored simply because of the home city advantage and the fan base advantage. But I think Indiana fans are going to show up. And I think that Fernando Mendoza and his offense are ready. And I hope to God that the Indiana defense is ready for Carson Beck because I don't want him touching that trophy tomorrow.
Well, if anything, I definitely think it's going to be an offensive game. It might be a
Mhm.
barn burner with both sides just gunslinging it into the end zone. So that's going to be exciting to watch. It's going to be a close game for sure. I think
Or it
Miami,
might not be. It just depends on which Miami team shows up tomorrow.
that's true. You're right. But I think it's going to be a close game. And I'm hoping that at the end, Indiana Hoosiers
Me too.
prevail and get over the hump and win their first championship since 1940.
I hope so. They deserve it. That whole team has had such a good attitude throughout this entire season. Like such a good attitude. The coach, he's got his moments, but and honestly, like everything comes back to Fernando Mendoza. Like that's just such like a good family. It's a good
Yeah,
family. They deserve it. And like I hate to give all the props to the quarterback because the entire team has carried, like they have
for
all
sure.
contributed to this season, to this undefeated season that they've had. But Fernando's obviously the face of that team because he is this good-natured, good-hearted little Jesus-loving boy, and his mother obviously has her story, and his brother's on the team with him. Like the whole Mendoza family, along with the Indiana Hoosiers organization in general, because you're right, it's been almost 100 years since they touched that trophy, like or a college football championship in the first place. They
Yeah.
deserve it. The Hoosiers deserve it. It's a fresh face, and I really, really hope that they win. I really hope that they win.
In either case, it could be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
So,
but I
Kent.
Miami can't win. Like they
Okay.
can't.
All right. Okay.
They can't.
Okay.
They can't. They can't because then my school suffers.
That's true.
So
Yeah, that's true.
everything comes back to the well-being of the University of
You know
Georgia.
what? If your school didn't want to suffer, they should have won the games and
Okay,
get Miami in the
that's
championship.
on them. Okay, that's on them. That's on them.
I
That's on them.
honestly think that Georgia underachieved this season.
They didn't.
Yes,
Okay, they did.
I think
Defense
underachieved.
underachieved. Defense was booty cheeks. Okay, and we're losing a lot of stars next year, and it makes me a little nervous. But thankfully, my friend Kirby Smart is a really good recruiter. He's a great recruiter. Might not be good at fourth quarter calls and dire times at the Sugar Bowl, but he's a good recruiter. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're gonna end up exactly the same place next year. I just hope we don't go to the Sugar Bowl again.
Historically, Sugar Bowl has been good to Georgia, except
Yes.
the past few years.
Right.
How
And you know
fast
how
we
I love
forget.
statistics, but you got to look at the stats, the most recent stats before you
Yeah,
judge them.
absolutely,
When I'm setting
absolutely.
up my fantasy team, I look at 7-day statistics, not 2026 statistics, because somebody might have been really, really good at the beginning of the season and fallen off really hard at the end. You got to look at the statistics from more recent times.
All
And
right.
statistically, last year they fumbled the ball against
Yeah,
Notre Dame. Didn't even walk onto that field for as far as I care.
I
So
know.
that's what I was looking at going into this. I was
Yeah,
looking at that and defense this entire year. So
you're right. Well, we'll see what happens next year to the dogs,
hopefully greatness.
but tomorrow night's game is definitely going to be a good game.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add, Kenzie,
For
to the show?
baseball, that needs to be discussed because
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
huge deals with the LA Dodgers,
Yes, I know.
potential
The
lockdown.
freaking Dodgers are buying the whole entire world.
Why is there not a salary cap? If
Yeah,
the
they should
NHL's
be.
got to have one, so does MLB. And now
Yeah.
people are threatening a lockdown, which I don't remember the NHL lockdown because I was one. But Actually, I was barely one, but I do know that that was detrimental for a lot of people. I would rather there not be an MLB lockdown just because the Dodgers think that they deserve the world and a half. Like, you guys have Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman, and then that should be good enough for you as is. Okay. Like, chill out for a second. You're okay. I don't know. But that's really selfish of them, I think. And I think it's LA versus the world. Um, Toronto was robbed. I don't know. I just think that they're doing really dumb things right now, and the MLB is going to suffer because of it. So
I I'd be very upset if the lockdown happens because they just had a lockdown in 2021 and 22 season. And I thought everything was fixed and fine. And then now they're going to talk about another lockdown. And I don't like the sports lockdowns
me
because
either.
the fans are the ones who suffer.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, these players are getting paid millions and millions of dollars. And I mean, this is going to be a very controversial opinion, but come on, go play a damn game, get your $1 million, $100 million, Shohei Ohtani, and just play a damn game and make the fans happy and
Like,
stop freaking threatening lockdown, and have the fans suffer. That's
money
bullshit.
is ruining sports
It
all
is
across the
for
board. I
sure,
mean, you don't need a $400 million contract. Like, you don't need a $400 million contract just to play a sport. Like, you should be grateful to be able to play the sport in the first place. Like, NIL money is ruining college sports. These giant contracts are ruining pro sports, except for the NHL, because the NHL, the highest paid player only gets $14 million a year. So like, and it's freaking Leon Draisaitl. So I don't. Money is ruining sports, and it even's ruining the NHL because you have players like Elias Pettersson who are getting paid $11 million a year to sit on the bench and do nothing. Like, why are people getting these large contracts not producing? It's ruining the integrity of sports. Pay them what they deserve, salary cap and all, and just do it. Like, if you're gonna move teams because you want to win, you want to play your best, not because you want more money. That is less honorable than leaving because you're giving up on your team. Both are, not honorable unless there's specific cases at Quinn Hughes. That's understandable, but like, loyalty is a thing. Money is not everything. You are getting enough to keep you set, your children set, your
for
grandchildren, your great
sure.
grandchildren
Yeah,
set
absolutely.
without this added bonus. Like, just go play a sport. You're like, otherwise, you're not going to be able to play at all because the economy is going to crash because you're being paid more than the people who save lives. And I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous that a college student who graduated college 2 years ago is getting paid $10 million to throw a football around. You're getting paid $400 million to hit a baseball. Like, do don't ruin the sport because you want money, more money. Greed ruins everything, and you're being greedy. Everybody's
It
being
does.
greedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
it's the integrity of this. All sports is now completely destroyed
And
because of this.
unfortunately, like you said, this is bleeding into college football and college. Well, football is that's the most important thing in college. College football with these NIL deals, and I think eventually we're gonna get work stoppage in college football
Yeah, it's
and
ridiculous.
work stoppage in college basketball. It's BS.
It's so dumb.
Yes, it's very dumb. So hopefully it won't happen. Um, but yeah, the Dodgers, man, they're just buying everything left and right. I mean,
Which is ridiculous.
they're gonna be, I don't know, nobody's gonna be able to compete against them.
Which is not fair because, first of all, I get sick of seeing the same team win, and so does everybody else. Because the only people cheering for Los Angeles at this point are the people who live in Los Angeles. Everybody this last MLB season was rooting for the Toronto Blue Jays. Everybody was, and honestly, that game 7 was ridiculous. So no, the integrity of sports is being ruined by money. Money is being ruined by officiating. It's not the same than it was when I was growing up, and I hate that. I hate that. It's gross, and I it's disappointing because I know it's only going to get worse,
Yeah, for sure.
and I hate that.
I can. That brings us to the end of our podcast. But I was going to ask you a question. I didn't do any rapid fire questions tonight, but I have a really good question for you, which I think you're gonna like. Um, Are you ready?
Yeah.
Kenzie, if you could spend a day with a character from any book, movie, or TV show, who would it be and what would you do?
Uh, if I could spend a day for any character or TV show.
Character in any book, TV, or movie.
I think I'd spend a day with Harry Potter because
Mm,
I'd love to be a wizard.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great, yep. That's a
It's a basic
great
answer, but like
answer.
all I could think of like is I want to go to Hogwarts so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's a great um, answer. I would want to spend time with a one of the James Bond actors, just go on their journey with them and do all the things James Bond actors do, James Bond people do. So see what
That's
happens.
a little dangerous.
It is a little dangerous, I know, but it's exciting for sure. All right, Cadence, that's episode 16, a coaching change in Columbus NFL team shopping for leadership, the Olympic curse claiming more rape victims, a major quarterback injury, and a college football championship with two very different vibes colliding. Thank you, Kenzie. Thank you for hanging out with me, and thank you for watching, everybody. Hit follow, share with your group chat, and we'll catch you next week, because whatever we think is going to happen probably won't. Bye-bye.
Bye
Yes,
bye.
kids. Thank you. You're awesome.
Bye bye.
I gotta turn this off.